Hey, do you want to watch The Notebook?
Sure, I love The Notebook.
I've never seen it.
Wow, have you seen any movies based on the novels of Nicholas Sparks?
Nope.
What if we watched all of them?
I'm willing to try anything.
Sparks, 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 sparks,
Notes.
sparks. Hi, I'm Whitney,
Hi, I'm Zach.
and this is Sparks Notes. This is a limited podcast series in which we watch and review every movie based on a book by Nicholas Sparks. Welcome.
This week, we're talking about the 2010 film Dear John, starring
Yes.
Channing Tatum and Amanda Seyfried. And also today, you may notice that Whitney maybe sounds a little better because she got a new laptop and the microphone that she bought for this podcast works with it. So she might be in a little higher fidelity than the past few episodes or
Yeah.
so. I hope you enjoy that as the listener.
My old laptop was terrible. And I couldn't plug my microphone in, so I just got a new laptop. Well, a refurbished one, and I can actually use a real mic. So I'm sure people have been dying to hear my voice in a much clearer and louder sound. So
We finally figured it out for the Dear John episode.
finally, which is a good one to figure it out for, because honestly, I feel like I have a lot to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But we should watch the trailer.
Thank you.
Don't worry about it.
I'm Savannah.
John.
Nice to meet you, John. 2 weeks together. That's all it took. 2 weeks for me to fall for you.
Special Forces, huh? Yes, sir. Oh, you're on leave. Oh, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, I think I am.
Full moon tonight.
It actually doesn't matter where you are in the world. It's never bigger than your thumb. Hey, Pop. I got somebody I want you to meet.
I like your dad. He loves you. I can tell, even if you can't. The way people act around you, it's like they're scared of you.
Why don't you get your hands off? Well, you're scared of who I used to be.
You don't scare me, John.
I gotta go back.
Just like that. So where are they gonna send you? Right in the middle of it all?
So I'll see you soon, then.
I'll see you soon then. Dear John, tell me everything. Write it all down. That way, we'll be with each other all the time, even if we're not with each other at all.
It's a full moon here tonight, which makes me think of you. Half a world away.
Letter number 8.
Letter number 33.
Dear John,
I miss you so much it hurts.
Requesting permission to extend my tour, sir.
you've decided you're going back.
All I know is I want to stay here with you as long as I possibly can, and I need you to tell me. I don't.
So, okay, Dear John, as we said, Amanda Seyfried and Channing Tatum are the two leads. And basically, they just fall in love over 2 weeks while he is on leave from army. And then it's just like the turbulence of them trying to have a long distance relationship while he's at army.
At Army.
At army, yeah.
Yeah.
I will only say at army throughout this. As you know, I said during the whole movie.
Yeah. And this movie's set in 2001, so it's 9/11 happens in the movie, and
Yeah.
he goes to Afghanistan, I believe.
Do they even say where he is?
I thought it was Afghanistan.
I
Could
mean,
be
it
Iraq.
probably is
It's
Afghanistan.
it is very it's just a Middle East kind of
Yeah.
vague.
So, did you have any expectations about this movie?
No, not really. I mean, I like the two actors all right, Channing and Amanda. They've been in some movies that I like. Like Channing's pretty good in Hail Caesar, that Coen Brothers movie, and he's in Hateful Eight. He like pops in at the end. I liked him in that.
Hmm.
And Amanda Seyfried, she's in First Reformed, which is a good Ethan Hawke movie. And she pops up in Twin Peaks: The Return, which I like a lot. So
I
I
forgot she was in First Reformed. I saw that so long ago, it feels like.
yeah, so I have some positive associations with these actors. And I recently saw that video of Amanda doing the the dulcimer on
Yes.
Jimmy Fallon with the that great Joni Mitchell cover that she does. And
Yes.
so that
It's
endeared me
fresh
to
in your
her.
mind.
Yeah, I was like, I'm excited to see more of her. She's got talent.
I'm telling you, she's got talent, this
She,
girl.
she's got great singing
She's
voice.
gonna be something.
She can play a dulcimer, but there's no dulcimer playing in this movie, sadly.
No. I love Amanda Seyfried. I feel like I always have, probably just since Mean Girls.
Oh yeah, she's in there too.
But she was also in Veronica Mars and Mamma Mia 2. Here we go again. So I love that girl. So I was actually pretty excited.
How do you feel about
And
Channing?
I don't really have strong feelings about him. I feel like I've always just thought of him as like this big beefy man without a lot of acting talent. But
Yeah.
I guess I've seen him in more in the past few years that maybe like a little bit more serious roles. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I don't feel super strongly either way about him. I was excited. And this was actually a movie that I was kind of interested in when it came out, but I never saw. Like, I remember I would like look at the book when I was at Barnes and Noble and I was like, should I get this? And I never read it and I never saw it. So I was kind of interested.
What made you interested about it? Just the Amanda of it all.
I mean, mainly, I don't know. I think when it came out, I was, oh God, I was probably like 21 or something, and still just like excited by young love and the idea of this like long distance, potentially doomed romance seemed like exciting to me. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in my senior year of high school in 2010. Or it's the year I
Ugh,
graduated high school.
yeah. Talked about this. That's the year I graduated college. I'm so
Yeah.
old.
But it's also the year Nicholas Sparks dropped two movies in the same year. And this
Yeah,
is the first of them, so
he was busy.
a lot was happening in all of our lives.
Yeah.
I expected there to be letters in this movie because it's called Dear John, but I didn't even know it was going to be like a war thing. So yeah, I really didn't know anything.
I did know it was going to be war. Um, I might have just remembered that from like when this originally came out. But Dear John letters are kind of like traditionally like a wartime thing, I think, right?
Yeah, I actually didn't know a Dear John letter was like a thing or until till this movie, really. It's
Yeah.
like
Did you
it's
read up on it?
yeah,
Okay.
there's a whole Wikipedia article about what Dear John letters are.
Yeah.
It's just basically like dumping someone while they're at war
Yeah.
over a letter.
Yeah. I've I've never done that. Have you?
No, but I have been dumped over text.
Yeah, I've never dumped anyone while they were at war. I don't think I've dumped anyone in a letter either. Although, do I need to say that my most recent ex-boyfriend did dump me in a letter?
Yeah, it was a
So
handwritten letter.
it was handwritten. So maybe I got Dear John.
Yeah. And when we were dating, you kind of dumped me over text. So that was
Okay, I did, but the reason was I knew I wasn't gonna see you because we were both like busy coming up, and I didn't want it to be like looming.
yeah.
And yeah. Do you
But
forgive me?
yeah, we're friends now.
Obviously.
It hasn't come up on the podcast, but yeah, we do have a dating history, but we're just friends now. It's all
Yeah.
good. We're podcast
Inquiring
partners.
minds. Inquiring minds probably wanted to know.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah.
history there.
God, now I feel a little bad.
It's okay.
I mean, I do think I did the right thing.
I mean, we had a phone conversation afterwards and
Yes.
kind of was able to hash it out over the phone, so it was a gracious text.
Are we suddenly like in therapy right now? We're like in couples therapy.
Dear John brought out a lot of feelings.
I guess so. I mean, I actually didn't think about it until right now that I had recently been Dear John. So, like, I wasn't at war, but I was deeply depressed. So I was kind of like at war with my mental health or like with my own brain. So
Hmm.
I think that is pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so we both relate deeply to Channing Tatum's character.
Yeah, he does get a Dear John letter in this,
Yes.
which is very, which he didn't he takes pretty hard. He burns all their letters.
Yeah. And it was very vague, the letter he got from her.
She doesn't say who that, but he has like some suspicions of who it could be.
Yeah, she just says she's like engaged to someone else. And I don't even know. I feel like that was it. She's just like, sorry, I haven't written. I'm engaged or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, it could have been a nicer letter, maybe.
Maybe. So,
So, what did you like about this movie?
um, a lot of things actually. I'm not sure. I just like really enjoyed watching this. I felt like it was kind of crazy. There were some twists that it and turns that I didn't expect. Like it definitely went in
Hmm.
directions that I was not anticipating, and I found that very enjoyable, but like in a ridiculous way. Channing Tatum's dad is played by Richard Jenkins. This like big part of the story is his dad's like coin collection.
Hmm.
And I just like I really enjoyed like how much coins were discussed and like brought up and were like a major part of the plot.
Where he writes a letter about coins and how he feels like he's a coin as
Yeah,
a
he's a
soldier.
coin of the army or something.
He talks about being rimmed or something, and we thought that was really funny.
Yes, for whatever reason, in that letter, he mentions rimmed like three times. He's like talking about the process of coins being minted and then himself being minted as a soldier.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty fun to me. And then Richard Jenkins has that one like really valuable coin because
Mule
it was
coin.
like yeah, it was the like misprint coin and they call it a Jefferson mule and
Yeah, so like half nickel and half penny or something.
yes, yes. Yeah. And I just like that that was such a thing. Like we were literally texting about it the next day, I think. Weren't you telling me you were like checking all your coins?
Yeah, I got like an interesting quarter from work, and I was like, "Is this a mule coin?"
Oh yeah,
And
right.
turns out it wasn't. It was just like some special
Like a special
quarter.
quarter.
Yeah, it's an interesting quarter that had like heads on
Yeah.
both sides,
I actually got a dollar coin recently, which I find pretty annoying.
like those gold Sekiji wheel ones.
It must be. It's gold. I didn't look very closely, but my credit card will never work on the vending machine at my work. So when I want a snack, I'm either SOL or I have to use cash, which I don't usually have. But
Hmm.
I had enough to get a snack and the vending machine gave me a dollar coin back. And I was like, why? So now I just have that hanging around. So
Yeah, you can't use it. It's just there.
not really. But yeah, I've kind of had coins on the brain since we watched this.
Yeah, are you thinking about doing lasagna Sundays too? Or what is it? Meatloaf Sundays? No, I think it is lasagna.
It
Yeah.
is lasagna. I think Saturdays are meatloaf.
The whole Richard Jenkins father-son relationship was maybe my favorite part of it. Amanda Seyfried, she has like this friend that has a son who's autistic, and she like suspects that Channing Tatum's dad is autistic, based on like one visit they have and how
Yeah.
much he's into his coins. Um,
Yeah, I feel like that was problematic.
well, he like blows up and he's like, "You call my dad retarded?"
Yeah, he actually said retarded. And but
Yeah.
honestly though, it was set in 2001. Like I think
Yeah.
a guy, some not just a guy, but someone would say that in 2001.
And I feel like people are still saying that in 2010 in movies
Yeah,
too.
probably. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I think they don't really confirm if he's autistic or not, but it seems like he could be on the spectrum, and I feel like
Right.
the way it's played is I thought was like not overdone, like kind of like Tahan was in the in the tiger movie we watched.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
But
Yeah,
this felt more of a subtle, or I don't know.
right.
It didn't feel like he was overdoing it. He's just like kind of avoiding eye contact, and he loved his coins, and
Yeah. Had his
um,
routines and his like cert liking things in a very particular way.
yeah, and yeah, I just found that part of the story. I thought it was well done, and I enjoyed that.
I liked their relationship too. Really interesting that it was kind of a focus because I feel like we haven't seen, I don't know, there've been some like parent-child relationships in these movies, but well, I guess we're gonna do the
Rodantic,
last song next, and that
yeah.
is like deep parent-child. But yeah, this one did have a lot of that, which we don't always see in the Sparks movies.
Hmm.
So, and I really liked actually, so the movie opens with John narrating and he's reading this letter aloud. He's like, "When I was shot, I was thinking about you," and or something like that. No, he's
Hmm.
like, "You know what I was thinking about when I was shot was coins."
Yeah.
He was like
That
thinking
day I
about
went to the U.S.
coins.
Mint.
Yeah. And then he's like, but right before I blacked out, I was thinking about you. And like the whole time, I assume most people assume there's a lot of assuming going on
Yeah.
that that was a letter he wrote to Amanda Seyfried. But you find out near the end of the movie that that was actually a letter he wrote to his dad. So,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
real love story is between him and his dad, maybe.
yeah, the real love is between father and son.
Yeah. And I did think the scene where he actually gets to read that letter when his dad's in the hospital because he has like a stroke or something, the most emotional scene for me. Or
Yeah.
I didn't cry, but I felt like I was close.
Yeah.
It was a sweet scene, and Channing's breaking down crying, and for some reason they're in the hallway of the hospital, which they
Right.
don't really explain, but somehow makes it more emotional or something. And
Yeah.
I thought Channing did a good job in that scene.
Yeah. I thought that was good. I agree with all that. So you liked the father-son relationship the most. Yeah. I dig that. You know what else I liked? When they were, I think it was right when the two main characters met, like the first day they were hanging out, and it's nighttime and she's like looking at the moon.
Hmm.
You know where this is going. And she was talking about how like it seems so small or something, and he's like, if you put your thumb in front of the moon and like close your other eye, it'll always be the same size as your thumb or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is definitely gonna come up again, and it did. They were like thumbing the moon throughout the movie.
Well, I feel like Amanda definitely thumbs the moon, but I don't know if he ever thumbs the moon.
He might not, yeah,
I
but
remember
she
her
does at
distinctly thumbing
least
the moon,
one
thinking
other
about.
time, maybe like two other times.
Hmm.
So I thought that was funny. And
It kind of reminded me of Walk to Remember with the telescope stuff, and like
mm-hmm.
doesn't he like name a star or something after her or something like that?
Yes. Yeah. Big
Yeah,
astronomy
yeah,
happening.
using the cosmos and the space to deepen love connections, another Sparks tradition.
Wait, do I need to add that to our list?
Yeah, I think that could maybe make the list. I was also thinking fist fights could be on there. I don't know if that was something we already had written down because I
No, we
feel,
haven't. We started making a list of like kind of common tropes or things that happen in these movies, and we're probably going to make a bingo out of it
yeah, bingo card that people can buy from us on our
on our fake Etsy store.
yeah, on our
Or, yeah.
website if it ever comes
Yeah,
to
who
that.
knows? Maybe by the time that this episode is out, we will have like a hot merch
Yeah,
shop running.
stickers, hats, and sweatshirts and bingo cards.
Bingo cards. Maybe we'll also sell like bingo stampers, like
Yeah.
custom ones. You can stamp Nicholas Sparks's face on your bingo card.
I would like that.
I would like that too. So, anyways, yeah, I just liked a lot of this. I felt like it wasn't supposed to be silly, obviously, but it was silly in a way that I enjoyed and I was just having a good time.
Yeah. Do you think they had good chemistry with each other? Uh, Amanda and
I mean,
Channing.
it wasn't like a Gosling McAdams situation, because what
Yeah.
is? But I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe better than Gear and Diane Lane and Rodanti.
Yeah, maybe a little better than that. And
Yeah.
I liked the way they showed them falling in love, it's only like 2 weeks, but obviously they show like a little montage of all the stuff they're like doing together and
The Kiss in the Rain.
the kiss in the rain.
That was pretty hot.
Yeah, that was smoking. Luckily it was raining because they put the fire out.
Yeah.
Um, and she played guitar. I can't remember if she sang or if it was just like montage music.
Is there any least favorite moments or things you didn't like?
Yes. The one thing I didn't like about this movie, and there's only one thing, because
Wow.
otherwise it's perfect in my mind, is the very end. It's almost like an epilogue, and Channing Tatum has this crazy goatee.
You didn't like the epilogue goatee?
No, no, like, oh God. I mean, I think a lot of the time in movies they do that. They change a physical characteristic to give you the sense that time has passed.
Hmm.
Usually a woman gets a haircut and you're like, oh, this must be later because she has a bob now. But like they did him dirty with that goatee.
But it is interesting because you had this movie on DVD and it had bonus features which we love to see. And
Yep.
there was an alternate ending. In the alternate ending, he doesn't have the goatee.
Right. Because they don't show that scene. Because that scene kind of hinted at like a second chance maybe for them, where he's like on the street and he just looks and sees her like in a cafe and he has that goatee. But the
Hmm.
alternate ending is more of like a solid, like they're done forever type thing. So they don't show that like second chance thing.
Yeah, well, like her husband dies in the actual ending, who's
Yeah.
played by E.T. What's that actor's name? Elliot from E.T.
Yeah. Henry Thomas.
Yeah.
I knew I eyed him very quickly. I was
Yeah.
like, I
I
know
was
him.
I was surprised. Yeah, I just watched E.T. earlier this year, but it's crazy to see him as an adult man with a
Right.
beard and long hair. It's like a whole new look for him, but he looks pretty good.
I've seen him in several things because uh like we were talking about, he's in all of those Mike Flanagan shows. Um so he was in Haunting of Hill House. Honestly, I think he's been in like every Mike Flanagan show and movie, so
Okay.
and I'm a big Flanahead, so I have seen a lot of Henry Thomas in the past like 10 years.
Yeah, I never realized that was him. That's cool
Yeah.
that he's still working. But yeah, in the alternate ending, he doesn't die, and Channing Tatum's just kind of hiding in the shadows and staring at their house, wondering what could be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. That whole thing was so silly to me too. Like we were saying, you don't know for a while like who she marries because there's this other guy that is hanging around when they first meet, who's I can't remember the character's name, but he's played by Scott Porter, aka Jason Street from Friday Night Lights.
Hmm.
Another one I clocked immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, I know me some Jason Street. So he's like hanging around all the time, and Amanda Seyfried even says like he thinks he likes me or whatever. So I think you're supposed to think that she gets together with him when she says she's engaged, but then it turns out she's engaged or she gets married to her neighbor Tim, who's played by baby E.T. Elliot.
Yeah. Which I
So
think I predicted that, and I think you doubted me in the moment, but I guessed it
I
right.
probably I probably did. But I remember like right before they revealed it, I was like, did she marry Tim? And then they like showed the picture of them.
Hmm.
But I do believe that you, guessed it first, which
Yeah.
was just so random. They were like neighbors or something. And it seemed like they had known each other for a long time. And he must have been a bit older than her, too.
He has a certain charisma. I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's not like a bad looking guy or anything. It just never seemed like there were any, pardon me,
Sparks.
but sparks. Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't really seem like there were sparks between them.
Yeah, I just didn't really enjoy the war stuff very much. I don't know. I just don't like seeing Iraq war and Afghanistan stuff. It just kind of bums me out
Yeah.
because it was just a shitty bad war and it's fucked up and this movie treats it like we're killing the terrorists and
Yeah.
they're all super proud of like re-enlisting after 9/11 happens and I think we're both like this is gross.
Yeah.
But this movie
Well,
doesn't treat it that way really.
and they don't really how should I put this? I feel like there's no nuance to anything with the war. Like they don't even explain anything. They're not like, we are going to war so that we can hunt down Osama bin Laden or anything like that. Like
Hmm.
they're just like, oh, September 11th happened, like war forever, basically. Like they just didn't talk about it at all. There was no discussion of like, where are we going? Why are we doing this? Like, what
Yeah.
is our goal here? And like, we lived through that, so we know more about what was actually going on. Um, so it felt like it was treated in a very like casual way, I think,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. It was just like, yeah, let's re-enlist. I was
Hmm.
like, what? Do you know what you're doing?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does get shot at one point,
Yeah.
and so I don't know. I just didn't love that side of the story so much,
No.
but
I get that. And I always get irritated when things are just like vaguely Middle Eastern. Like
hmm
how we were saying earlier, we weren't sure like if it was Iraq or Afghanistan or what.
hmm
So I just don't like in movies when they're like, ooh, bad guys. They're maybe brown and maybe we're in the Middle East, but surprise, we don't know where we are.
Yeah. At one point, one of his army buddies says like some fucked up racist stuff too. That's just kind of thrown in there too.
I don't even remember that.
I can't even remember what line they said, but they said something that was like, "Yikes."
Yeah, I guess I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not a fan of army or military
Yeah.
in general. So I agree, like that stuff is always not super pleasant for me.
hmm
So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not looking to watch Warfare in theaters.
no.
I'm not trying to relive that stuff. I mean, I'll watch some war movies like a Vietnam War movie or World War II. There's more of a little more detachment, I guess, just because it's before I was born. So I feel like I can enjoy those more. But yeah, Iraq War stuff is like, yeah,
It's tough. And like there are so many people alive still that experienced it firsthand. Whereas like you said, like the distance and the detachment from some of those earlier wars is not just like our own distance, but like the people around us too.
Hmm. Yeah, though I did hear Nicholas Sparks' most recent novel, The Return, is about a soldier with PTSD from the Iraq War. So maybe he's get into some more of the ethics of it or something in that, or
I'm
at
sure
least.
he'll treat it very delicately, as we know he's he loves to do.
But we'll never know because we refuse to read any of his books.
Yeah, but we will see the movie because it's going to become a movie directed by M. Night Shyamalan. So,
Well, is the Return I think that's
oh wait, that's
the
a
Return
different
something
one.
else.
I was
Yeah.
thinking it was. I thought you meant it was Remain. Too
No.
similar. Too similar.
Yeah, I think that's a different upcoming
Yes.
thing. The Return,
Yes.
I think, is already out. It's
Strike
with this
everything
movie.
I said.
But yeah, so that was the main thing I didn't like so much. Did you have any surprises?
I mean, I feel like I've talked about most of the things that surprised me already. Finding out that Amanda Seyfried's character married her neighbor Tim was like a crazy surprise. Um,
Hmm.
and then how I said like that letter that you kind of think is to Amanda Seyfried, and it turns out it's to his dad. That was a pleasant surprise, like a sad surprise, but
Yeah, this movie just it felt a little bit more a little more unpredictable
right.
and had a certain messy quality that I like how I said it, the Notebook's kind of messy in their
Yeah.
relationship, and this
Yeah.
is kind of similar.
That's a good way of putting it. It's messy, but it's not totally insane like some of the other movies, like Richard Gere dying in a mudslide.
Yeah, that felt ridiculous, but this all felt like believable.
Yeah. Yes, it's believable, but it's still like kind of messy and chaotic. Like people
Hmm.
are making bad decisions left and right, but they're not, drowning in crazy storms, saving a family or whatever.
And there's
Um,
horses.
there are horses at the end.
Yeah, there's like a
Yeah.
autistic horse ranch that she starts up, and I guess it doesn't take off.
I feel like I don't can you autistic horse ranch? Like are the horses are autistic? What is that?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be therapy for autistic kids.
Yeah, it's
Like
supposed to be like a summer camp.
yeah. So yeah, all the autism stuff was a surprise for me, and also Elliot from E.T. as a grown man was a surprise.
Yeah. I guess the actor that played Alan, the child with autism in the movie, actually is autistic. So that was kind of a big deal when they made this movie that they were actually casting a person with autism. Um
Unlike getting like a Charlie Tahan, if you will.
yeah, just another Tehan. Hopefully none of our many listeners skipped that episode or else they'll never know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Check out the
um
Knights in Rodanthe episode to know more about Tahan. Um,
okay, I do have one other surprise
oh
that
really?
got me. Um this is the first Sparks movie we've watched where okay, I'm not going to count the last song because we haven't done that episode yet. But otherwise, it's the first one where both of the romantic leads are alive at the end of the movie,
Oh really? Yeah, I guess that's true.
right? Every
Um,
single other one of them dies, and then in the notebook, they both die.
that's true.
So that was like a surprise.
But the Notebook they died together, so that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I mean, they found a lot of other ways to make this movie tragic.
Richard Jenkins dies, and also Elliot from E.T. dies. So
Yeah.
there's still death and tragedy, but
And the main characters aren't together. They break up.
but maybe they'll rekindle the spark.
That's what it seems like.
So do you want to do letterbox review? All right, I have one half star review.
Okay, go for it.
Channing Tatum looks like a loaf of bread.
So true, bestie. That is somehow pretty true.
Yeah, I like somebody being so mad about that too. Like, give it a half star.
That's why they gave it a half star.
It's the only reason.
Yeah. I as usual I saved several reviews. So I have to see. Sorry, just looking at them. I can't take it. Okay, this one is a 2-star review. And I don't even remember reading this. So that's why it's getting me. The movie is made for those people.
I can't get through it.
The movie is made for those people posting minion quotes and those people that put an inspirational quote to every photo, but so people think they are saying quote something deep. This review is a little bit of like a run-on sentence because that was all one sentence.
Yeah.
Just saying these people posting quotes. That's what this movie is made for. Okay, so I've never seen any Minion movies or Despicable Me.
Oh, really?
Do Minions
Yeah, actually, I haven't seen them
talk?
anything.
Do
Yeah, they could.
Minions talk?
Yeah, they can say stuff.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if there were actually Minion quotes or if they were just like noises.
I think they say banana or something.
Hmm.
They
Okay.
could say simple things like that.
Okay, one other short review I like. This is another 2-star. It says, "This movie sure has a lot of cargo shorts,"
It does.
which, yeah,
Mostly by Channing.
yeah, he wears a lot of cargos.
Yeah, there's one star review that says extremely Republican. That's pretty good.
I saved that one too. There's one other I'm gonna read, and if you um feel free to edit out some of mine because I'm reading so many. But
Yeah.
I'm reading one more because this one's good. It's a 1-star review. We have a sickness that compels us to watch Nicholas Sparks movies. Even though they all share essentially the same plot and they are as deep as a teaspoon, there's something fun about watching his paper thin characters fall in and out of exaggerated love, die of generic illnesses, and do contrived activities to demonstrate their selfless uniqueness. Parentheses, autistic horse farm.
Yeah, I think that's
um,
where I pulled Autistic Horse Farm
that
from.
must be. Oh, Stella's barking. There's actually more to that review, but I'll leave it there. So it's time for
Sparks Fact.
I came up with today's Sparks Fact, and it is so Nick, well, that's how I'm going to call him now,
Hmm.
went to Notre Dame and he did track and field there. He was in the 4x800 relay, and his team still holds the record in that race to this day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing some research on Nicholas today, and he really was a big track and field athlete.
Yeah, he was a student athlete. I didn't know until now that he was such a runner.
Yeah, he said he didn't have the makings to make it a career out of it because of his genetics or something. He blames it on his parents, not his own willpower.
Classic. It almost surprises me then that he hasn't really made that I know of a movie or sorry, written a book, not made a movie, written a book that focuses like on an athlete because I feel like there are some tragic stories you could write about that.
Yeah, maybe there is one that we don't know of, but not
There
that we've
could be.
discovered so far.
Yeah, there could be, and we just remain ignorant to it. Just
Yeah,
fine. There are some things I'm okay remaining ignorant to.
yeah. If any listener knows, please send us an email
Yeah.
at sparksnosePodcast at gmail.com.
It's our brand new email address.
Sparks Fact. All right, so what's your star rating out of 5?
I gave this 3.5 stars.
That's pretty strong. That's a
Yeah,
good
that's
score.
one of the highest that I've done so far. It was
Mhm.
just I really enjoyed watching this because of the mess. So, how about
Yeah,
you? Where did you put it?
I gave it 2.5 stars.
Don't you give all of them 2.5 stars?
Well, I've given some 2 stars too. The Notebook was 3.5 to 4. I think I maybe like this a little bit more than A Walk to Remember, which I also gave 2.5 stars.
Yep. Well, eventually we will come up with our own rankings. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm work
that'll come at the end.
yeah, we're working on them as we go, but like we don't know for sure how everything's going to shake out. So, eventually we'll see where this falls amongst the entire Sparks oeuvre.
Oeuvre.
Do I do I sound pretentious if I say oeuvre on our podcast?
No, I think people like it.
Okay.
You should
I
say it
hope
more.
so. I will try to work it into every episode in a different way.
One other thing about Dear John is that this movie was a pretty big box office hit. One of the bigger Nicholas Sparks hits.
Interesting.
It knocked out Avatar, which was like #1 around the world at the box office for several weeks, and then Dear John took it down when it came out. So,
You know, I actually love that for Dear John. Knocking Avatar off of its pedestal. Like,
yeah,
go Dear John.
yeah, pretty impressive. That's all there is for Dear John, I think. I
Yeah.
think we covered all our bases there.
And next up is going to be another 2010 movie, which came out, I believe, 2 months after Dear John, and that is The Last Song.
I remembered one thing is, well, I think this is how we're going to be doing it, is that the website that we use to distribute this podcast, Acast, only gives us 5 free episodes. So, so this will be the last one that you'll be getting on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you want to listen to the rest of the show, you got to follow us on YouTube at Sparks Notes. And then that's where all the rest of the episodes will be. But we also have a beautiful Instagram page, and you can find links to all of our latest episodes there. So yeah, that's the plug.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.